Now, how many of you eat bread?
Oh God, here we go. Appeal to fertility fallacy incoming! If you enjoy these response-style videos, hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon, because there's a whole lot more of them coming!
A serious question.
Yeah, we all eat bread.
You all eat bread. So you're aware that how bread gets made, right?
Yeah.
Wheat crops and all that kind of thing. Ladybirds, bugs, things. Mice, rats, all these other little creatures that are in the crop, they get destroyed.
I think you'll find that when that harvester comes thundering along, you won't see those little rodents for dust. Nervous little as they are at the best of times.
Tell me the difference, ideologically, between me wanting a Christmas turkey, right, and you guys eating bread, which you know involves the slaughter of millions of young critters.
The difference, you pompous buffoon, is that choice of sustenance seeks to minimise the harm done. Granted, sadly, there is some collateral damage, the majority of which is to insects, which happily do not have pain receptors. Vegans are not requiring that feeling animals are held captive in terrible conditions, mutilated and then hacked to death for their flesh. And who's eating the most crops? A few thousand vegans or 140 billion farmed animals? Use your brain, son.
What we're doing is we're doing our best. We know that these
Why
animals are
don't you just give
suffering.
up bread and stop encouraging the suffering of insects?
Because we have to eat, you dumb.
When I eat a steak, I know that the preparation of that steak involved the killing of an animal.
Sure.
When they eat their bread...
Me too.
Wait a sec. It's come to Ashley. When you eat your bread, right, you know, because you've all just admitted this, that when you eat your bread, you know it involves the slaughter of animals. To me, there's absolutely no ideological difference between my decision-making when I eat my steak and yours when you eat your bread.
That's because you need to engineer a bullshit excuse that makes you feel okay about valuing a temporary taste sensation over somebody's life.
So certain things you cannot help.
Are you wearing leather shoes?
No, I'm not wearing leather shoes.
Any leather at all?
No, I deliberately do buy.
You never wear any leather.
Very
okay, let's bring in Dominica.
That didn't work, did it, Piers? Quick, change the subject!
Here's my issue about the vegan thing, right? I've got no problem with anyone being vegan whatsoever.
That's very understanding of you, Piers. I don't have anything against people who are opposed to harming others either. That would be a little bit mental and actually make you an asshole.
I believe absolutely in a right to choice when it comes to food, smoking, drinking.
You just don't believe in the right to being left in peace if the victim looks different from you. E.g., they've got 2 sets of legs or are covered in feathers.
What I have a real problem with is radical vegans storming into supermarkets like these 3 did with their mates, right? Terrorising old people doing their shopping for Christmas, right? Young kids trying to go around with their mums and dads in supermarkets.
Seems that your idea of being terrorised is different from normal people's. Holding a sign and talking versus what happens in a slaughterhouse. Jesus.
Marching into steakhouses and screaming abuse and playing... I could go into their bread stores, right, and I could play little insects being killed.
I usually call bread store a bakery. You could go in there and play the sounds of these poor little insects getting horrifically murdered, except the only thing is they don't have pain receptors, they don't make any noise, and you're a bit thick, aren't you, Piers?
My problem is this kind of activism actually just does the opposite effect to what they think it does. It doesn't encourage people to be vegans.
Show me the data. There is none. So this is mere speculation. While I suspect that other forms of activism are likely more effective than this, there may well be a decent percentage of people who see this, go and look up what these activists are talking about. Maybe they watch Land of Hope and Glory and they think that it's not worth it putting these poor animals through this horrendousness for a sandwich.
And wants me to want to eat more meat.
That has got to be the most childish thing I've ever heard. You're going to abuse more animals. You're going to make them suffer because someone annoyed you a little bit. I'm glad they're not campaigning against child abuse. Probably going to kick some kids about.
It's the tactics you're using to bully the rest of us.
Yeah, vegans are bullies.
If you want to eat kale and quinoa all day, I'm very happy for you.
I'd be very happy for you too, Piers, if you wanted to do that. And the animals would be happy. And the 8 million starving humans would be happy. Because fat idiots like you want grain, which could feed them, fed to cows. Don't you dare question vegans' ethics when you're taking food out of hungry children's mouths.
think you deliberately misunderstand, because I don't support any sort of violent protest. But I wonder, Ella, if you can explain that this isn't just about a personal choice for a vegan. This is about trying to protect other living creatures.
Boom! The voice of reason. Now listen to Piers bullying.
Your families eat meat.
That's irrelevant.
Hang on. Do your parents eat meat? I don't know if your parents are also alive. Sorry for, I'm assuming they are. Do your parents all? Hang on. Let me ask a question. Do your parents all eat meat?
I think it's not important.
Yes or no?
I think that what we need to be focusing on is the animal
If you say yes,
rights.
it's fine. If
Hang on. You keep out of it.
Bit rude.
Do your parents all eat meat?
My mother doesn't. The changes are happening.
Your parents eat meat?
More and more people are waking out.
No. Do any of your parents eat meat?
It's certainly what
Do
we
any of your
really need
parents
to
eat
think
meat?
about is that
There's a point to the question.
Point is, you like to bully young ladies by the sounds of it.
None of your family eats meat at all. My point being,
do you have to share the views with your family
my point
members
being,
in
if your
order to have
family
them?
members eat meat, why are you not stampeding into their rooms when they're eating their Christmas turkey and protesting at your own families?
They most likely have, repeatedly.
And the protests that we're doing, these are non-violent protests.
But they're annoying protests.
They're only annoying to people that pay others to abuse animals. And if you don't think killing is abuse, then tell me what the hell is.
What happens in the jungle?
Dentists shoot lions and all of a sudden you start crying your eyes out, Piers. But not because the lion is hurt, because it brings closer the day that you won't be able to see lions anymore. You base the worth of an animal's life on what the animal can do for you. Do you know, it's really annoying for those hunters when you keep harping on at them and you don't even get your facts straight, such as in this interview.
He was attacked with, I think, a bow and arrow in his case, and left to then die very, very slowly. Then he was skinned alive, right? There's sort of deep.
I doubt that, but
that's exactly what happened.
I'm not going to.
Which part of that do you doubt?
I'm not condoning
Hang on,
individual
which part of it do you doubt?
That it was skinned alive.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't know anything about it then?
Later on, Piers read out an article about it.
Then they beheaded Cecil and skinned him before leaving his rotting carcass lying outside the park.
So they skinned him alive after his head was cut off.
That is one resilient lion, Piers.
In the jungle, animals eat other animals.
You're not in the jungle.
We're doing the same thing as animals do in a jungle. We are eating to survive.
No, Piers, you are eating to excess, which is why you look like a fat sack of potatoes. If you leave the animals off your plate and just eat the plants, you might have a decent physique.
This is not about our survival, because we can survive on a vegan diet, which is evidenced by all of us. This is these animals are facing on all levels is an injustice. They're being oppressed. They're being slaughtered. They're having their bodies abused and cut up, and that is an unnecessary thing. And we have a moral responsibility.
I get it, but your morality
to
doesn't.
think about these animals and do what we can to reduce suffering.
I get it, and I admire the passion. But my point to you is, your fury about all this does not extend morally to the little animals that get killed in the production of the bread you love to eat. So my argument is you're hypocrites.
Pot, kettle, next.
A lot of people think that this is backfiring, but actually the number of vegans is increasing, right?
Despite morons like Piers doing everything in their power to try and stop us. If you've enjoyed this video and you feel like it may be of benefit to others, why not help grow our wonderful community by sharing this out on your social media? Together we'll help inspire everybody to go vegan for victory.